I bet, John, when you see these fields,
I just saw Tommy Soroki over there.
Get your juices going. It's got to get your juices going.
It absolutely
or fear, one or the other.
Yeah, one or the other. Exactly. Brings back memories.
It used to feel a lot more traumatic. It used to feel a lot more traumatic when we first started coming to the RV here. And I don't know why. Like there was a little bit of fear built in to the training camp, because once upon a time I knew that at the end of summer it was gonna hurt real bad. You know, like for the first couple days of training camp, I knew what I was in for, and I dreaded that part because I had to get into the best shape of my life in order to go do that. And I knew that I was going to have to be working out twice a day in preparation for the final 2.5, 3 weeks of my summer. So it was the summer was a chance to get away from football and spend some time traveling with my kids, with the family. But it was also, man, it was over fast, and I knew that my focus needed to be, how do I get better? How do I heal these surgeries that I seem to get year after year after year? And how do I get stronger than the year before to come back and help this team the best I can? And it was, man, this is the ultimate test. This was 2 practices a day for... Back then, it was a month and a half. Back then, you had rookies reporting. I want to say we might have had a week under our belts before anyone older showed up when I was out in Oakland. Mm-hmm. And I'm not exactly sure how we populated that field and scrimmaged against one another for as long as we did. But we had a lot of young guys out there just trying to make a team. You're
recovering and making teams. I'm scrambling to make a team in spring training, pal. Man, I went through a totally different type of stress, man.
I'm sure. Look, everyone's got their issues, their problems. For me back then, it was, I knew that I would get so beaten up. I knew that because I would lead with my face and there was so much stress put on my neck, I knew that by the time we were a few days into camp, every time I'd turn my head, I'd be getting burners, where one arm or both arms would feel, pain and fire and like tingly, like nerves, like that zinging sensation going down your arms, sometimes down a leg. And for most guys, that was just a way of life, especially the linebackers and fullback guys, the medium-sized guys who really had to stick their face on people. It was you knew what you were in for this time of year, and that's why you felt a little bit fearful.
Well, sounds like fun to me. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Speaking of this time of year, let's get Ruben's thoughts. We'll back to the phones in a few minutes. 215-592-9494. We'll get your thoughts on the Phils in a sec, Rube. But the Landon Dickerson news, the news of the day. Take us through your thoughts when you heard the injury. You find out not as bad as you thought. The whole Landon Dickerson thing.
Well, so important to to this club, and the fact that he means so much on so many different levels. That's like sort of losing a guy like in the middle of your lineup, the Chase Utleys of the world, and those types of players. And I think what Howie Roseman's done, he's put himself in a position to be able to handle that. I think that's the beauty of what Howie's done. He's given this team so much depth that there's people to cover, and they've got people who know how to make those adjustments. I mean, we've seen it in the past where guys go down and somebody steps up, and I think that they have people to be able to do that. But the fact that it was not, I mean, it's one of those roller coaster rides when you're on.
You're like, oh my God, oh my God.
Oh my God, oh my God, please don't bleed, please.
Does it make a difference? Because I remember talking to you at spring training when, the word came out that Chase had chondromalacia. And it was like it was a funeral. And you wonder how that, like, the fact that it isn't as bad with Landon, but probably yesterday, like late Sunday night and yesterday morning, the team's going, oh my God, this is happening at the beginning.
Yeah, it's difficult because you have such great expectation for the team, and there is a lot of pressure on everybody to be healthy and to try to run it back again and to win. And when you have your key elements and key players, I mean, everybody knows how important the lines are. I mean, it's the most important part of. It's almost like pitching and defense. You got to have lines that can do the job and be strong enough to be able to handle, adversity when you lose one. And so when you lose one that important, it makes life really difficult. It's scary.
Yeah, no, it was. And Ruben, back to the phones in a minute. Speaking of adversity, this Phillies team, man, has been battling it. It feels like every time they're down, they're fighting back in games. They're winning late. Obviously, since Duran has gotten here, they're 8-2. The bullpen has been shut down since he's gotten here. Rube, you've been high on the Phillies all season. You had said you needed 3 players. They got 3 players at the deadline.
3 players to be great.
Robertson,
to be
Duran,
World
and Bader.
Series great.
Where are you at with this?
Said
you did. Where are you at with this team this morning, Ruben?
I mean, I love the way they're playing. It's obvious that, anytime you get a player like a Duran of that ilk, of that, quality, it boosts the clubhouse. It makes a really big difference. Now, people here in Philadelphia had I got people coming up to me going, where did they get this guy? How did they get this dude? I mean, I said, the guy's been there.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen him. He's in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's been languishing away in Minnesota.
And so I'm like, yeah, they know what they're doing. But it's really huge, and it really does the domino effect that's associated with not just in the clubhouse, but obviously actually on the field. When you start to line up guys, I think Rhea mentioned it earlier, you start lining guys up in the right roles, and you put yourself in a position to go from being one of the worst bullpens in baseball to maybe being one of the best bullpens in baseball. And when you got Alvarado and Robertson back, I know Robertson was a little shaky yesterday, but it was his first time. He probably felt like a little kid again, jumping back in there.
40-year-old little kid.
Yeah. And so
that's what I feel like.
And there's some nerves, They have big expectations, and he wants to pitch well, and he probably wants to put a World Series ring on there. And, so it's pretty special the way they're playing. They're playing with great energy. I got to give – you guys talked about Topper, and I know it's on the docket here about how people feel about him. I maintain the same thing. He's one of the best managers they've ever had here, and for a lot of different reasons that I feel that he handles things extremely well. If you would tell me that this team, where they are offensively, basically underperforming offensively, with one of the worst bullpens in baseball, and be in this position to be, 5.5 games up or whatever it is? Is it 6 now?
20 games above 500.
6 games over, or 6 games above the Mets, and 20 games over 500, then I would say that this manager's done a heck of a job.
I haven't always been the biggest fan, you know that, but I don't know why people were so upset about the platooning last weekend. I'm like, well, it's working.
Yeah.
Like, even after the weekend, I want them to stop it, and I go, they did sweep, didn't they? Like, at some point, you just have to go, all right, he's still going to annoy me certain times, but I thought that was fine.
Were people upset about Jim Fregosi for platooning guys? We had 3 platoons that year in '93. In left field, right field, and second base.
215-592-9494. Let's get a call in. Let's talk to our buddy Patrick in Tabernacle. What up, Patrick?
Morning, everybody. How we doing?
Doing great, Patrick.
Yo, first of all, shout out to Fran. Listen, man, I got my request in for George Thorogood. And Seltzer, you blew right by it. Right on Josephine. You know what I mean?
Well, I can't comment on every return music that he plays.
I'm dinging him, but
Patrick,
listen, man, he's such a good
I'm trying
dude.
my best here.
I know, but listen, I'm fired up. But listen, Landon Dickerson, man, what a bullet we all dodged. And man, oh man, because like I had John Ritchie, I love it when you talk your medical stuff.
He's so good at it. Their knowledge is just mind blowing.
Yeah, he could totally walk up in like a bar situation and just like have people believing he's a doctor.
I totally agree with you. I am a surgeon, and then just start talking about all these body parts, and people be like, "Wow, I guess you are a surgeon."
I don't know, guys. I mean, when you are in a training room, as much as I was, because I was getting dinged an awful lot, you hear a lot of words thrown around, and if you're in there often enough, I guess they just sink in. Like osmotically, you learn. about other people's injuries as well as your own.
Osmotically.
Yeah, exactly.
For everybody.
That's exactly right. Yep.
I've never heard osmotically.
Me either.
Imagine what John Kruk would say to me if I said osmotically on the phone.
He'd slap you across the head.
He'd slap me.
Yeah. But it's funny because John Ritchie, I limped around. This is like right after COVID. I limped around for months with a bad knee. I mean, it was bad, and I'm like, man, I'm self-employed.
Bad like how? Like it was clunky?
It was just swollen, and I couldn't bend it. And because like what happened was I crouched down to work like a catcher, like I always do. And just this one time, I crouched down, and then just it kind of like went. And then it turned out to be just meniscus.
You folded
stuff,
your meniscus?
Yeah, it was meniscus, and for me, it's just like I can't be on the shelf and go out and work at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I dodged a bullet myself.
So so did they scope you?
Yeah, they scoped me, and I'm trying to think. Like 10 days later, I'm back in the trench, humping pipe, and just working my tail off again. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, it's quick.
It's
quick.
It's good news for all of us. And real quick with the Phillies, Rube. Listen, man, I've been more down on the Phillies than up. I mean, as far as like the big picture goes. But man, this guy just, in addition to his talents, like you said, like we have a different team now. It's like, to me, it's pretty clearly like, just the whole attitude just seems like, man, we got a different clubhouse now. And I've been with this team all year, more down than up with what I thought they do in the big picture. But man, I'm excited. Like it's just it's like spring ball again, all over again. It's just like
Yeah, the most important part of the season, Patrick, is that it's a long season. We talk about it all the time. It sounds so cliche, but it is. And you want to be playing your best baseball in August and September. When other teams are swooning, you want to rise, and that's exactly what they're doing. And they have the talent to do it. It's just a matter of them getting their mojo going.
Patrick, you got a one-word movie title for us?
Yeah, man, my favorite, Jaws.
Jaws is a big answer. 215-592-9494. We're broadcasting from the NovaCare Complex for 94 WIP's Champ Camp.